So I have received a number of questions today related to the rhetorical analysis essay that you're all working on. That happens like every time an essay is due, so I mean, at some level, this is like, yeah, same old, same old. But a number of the questions that I've gotten this time are like, not so much about how to handle a particular element from Orwell's essay that you're analyzing, but literally about how to interpret the instructions for the assignment. So I'm not sure what's going on there, because these are very similar to the instructions I've given for rhetorical analyses in the past. But I thought that, one thing that I might be able to do to make things clearer for you is to just recap the instructions on video. Sometimes that, helps clear it up. So here we go. The instructions for today are the ones that are listed like Rhetorical Analysis Starter Kit in Canvas. So look for that link and then, review what it says. But the first thing that it says is to look back at your homework from yesterday, which had a checklist for a rhetorical analysis. If you didn't see it yesterday, don't freak out. Do, however, click on the link that is in today's instructions, because today's instructions in the first paragraph, I give you a link back to the homework. The reason is, if you missed a checklist or whatever, you can still look back at it and get the benefit, right? There was a strategy to having you do the checklist first, and it is this. Once you answer all of the questions on that checklist, you have usually a much better handle on what's happening in the essay you're going to analyze. And that gives you the raw materials that you're going to work with to draft your essay today. Now, several people have asked what you are analyzing. You are indeed, as I say in the instructions, analyzing George Orwell's Politics in the English Language. I say that several times in the instructions. But I'm going to say it again. You are analyzing George Orwell's Politics in the English Language. I kind of think maybe that was such a gimme that it seemed like that's too easy, that can't be true. But it is. You're analyzing the essay that we've already talked about a bunch of times and you probably have notes on, and so we're all just kind of starting with something that I know you're familiar with, all right? Anyway, so you have your checklist, and that gives you your raw materials. The first thing I ask you to do with that checklist for today is to sort your answers to those checklist questions into 3 categories. This is just a step that makes it a little bit easier to work with. The 3 categories are who said the stuff, what did they say, how did they say it. And that's all explained in the template, or rather in the instructions that include a template. If you have questions about how to sort them, you can ask me, but really the point is you're just organizing your thoughts here. Okay, so you get through that, and then this is the part where the template comes in. I give you this template that's it's from the same template the checklist came from, actually. And it's like a paragraph full of sentences that have these fill in the blank stuff, right? And what I tell you to do with that template is to swap out the author's name that they're discussing in that template as Ravisankar, something like that. Anyway, I don't remember because this guy's name is not important. You want to swap in Orwell every time that guy's name shows up, okay? So you're just taking this template, which gives you the introduction to a very basic rhetorical analysis, and you're swapping in George Orwell's name for this guy, and you're filling in all the blanks on those sentences with your observations about politics in the English language, okay? So you just fill in the blanks. When you have done that, you have a completed introduction to your essay, okay? And the last sentence in that introduction is going to be something like your thesis statement. When we come back and we revise these, that's going to get tweaked. But it's kind of an early version to work with, okay? You got to have something to work with before you can really get your ideas out on the page. So what I want you to do with that introductory paragraph that you now have is take all the sentences in it and list them on your page, one at a time. Because each one of those sentences from your introduction becomes the topic sentence of a body paragraph. So, I've got to have my little flippy chart here. But you've got your template, full of sentences. Very fancy. Now, let's say that this is sentence 1, and here's sentence 2 and 3, and yada, yada, yada. Okay? Sentence 1, you write it down on the page. Sentence 2, you do the same thing. Well, now you just got a list of sentences on your page, and they're exactly the same as the sentences you had, so what's up with that? I'll show you. Gotta have another color, though. This is the part that's magic, okay? So when you get to the part in the instructions where I'm like, this is my magic trick, this is what I'm talking about. For every one of these topic sentences that is now a topic sentence of a body paragraph, even though the body paragraphs don't exist yet, you now know how to fill them in, because every body paragraph in every academic essay ever has to do these things. It has to show us, well, it starts with a topic sentence, just like what paragraph would not start with a topic sentence, seriously. It starts with a topic sentence, and then it tells us, A, how we know the thing you just said in your topic sentence, and B, why that matters. And the why that matters, remember how I said the last sentence in your template was going to be the start of your conclusion? Why that matters is how it leads to that conclusion, okay? So your A, your evidence, like the how we know, is going to be example quotes. Now this part, like what kind of evidence you use to show how we know, that's going to depend on the kind of essay that you're writing, okay? So like later when you get to 112 and you're writing a research essay, how we know may not be an example quote. But for a rhetorical analysis, it is, okay? So the formula is topic sentence, how we know, why it matters. For rhetorical analysis, what you plug into that formula for the how we know, that's example quotes. So how we know, whatever you just said in your topic sentence, and why it matters. Okay, you just told us the stuff and showed us quotes from Orwell's essay showing that he does whatever you said he did. How does that lead us to whatever you say in the last sentence of your template paragraph? That's the why it matters. So when you finish doing that exercise for every topic sentence that you've copied in here, then you have, it's a rough draft, but it's a complete draft of a rhetorical analysis. So let me recap this one more time. No such thing as too many recaps. You have your checklist, which gives you raw materials. You have a template that's like literally fill in the blank, swap in Orwell's name for this random dude. When you finish that template is an introduction to your essay, okay? It's going to get revised, but for right now, it's your introduction. Every sentence in that paragraph is also the topic sentence of a new paragraph. So you just like copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. For each one of those topic sentences, you write a body paragraph that explains how we know what you said in the topic sentence, okay? And for a rhetorical analysis, how we know is because it's right here on the page. It's an example quote. You just show us the writer doing the thing you said they did. And why it matters. And the why it matters is how this stuff you just told us leads to that last sentence in your template paragraph, which is also the start of your conclusion. And the result that you get from filling all this stuff in is what you, A, submit in Canvas tonight, because you want to do that, and B, bring to class as a printed copy on Friday, because on Friday we're going to go through your uses of evidence and how you integrate quotes. And now that you have a document in hand that you're going to have to use quotes in, now is when we start working on MLA style and how to cite things. And like, I like for people to have a document they're working with before I try and explain this, because if I explain it on the board and it's all abstract, it doesn't really stick. It didn't for me either. So once you have it in hand and you're like actually trying to figure out where on the page to put these marks, now is when we can actually work with the thing and get some practice in. So that's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing on Friday. Good luck. If you have questions after you watch this, please let me know. I'll be around off and on through the evening, and I'll try to kind of touch base with folks as the messages come in. So, all right. See you soon.